All right, so tonight's team call is about creating your belief, and I'm your host, Theresa Jobs, Diamond Coach. So just a disclaimer, I'm by no means an expert on any of this information. It's just something that I just want to share with you guys as I've found it helpful, at least in life in general and along my coaching journey. So first of all, I wasn't sure who would be joining us, so I just wanted to give a little disclaimer as well, talking about the differences between a discount coach, a hobby coach, and a business builder, and how basically a lot of what we talk about can be applicable to any person at any stage, whether in this business or not, that it's perfectly applicable to just being a person in general and wanting to grow yourself. So we're all here for our own reasons getting started, whether you are a discount coach and just getting the Shakeology discount, which is great, or whether you're a hobby coach and kind of, just mingling with the idea of creating a business and financial freedom, or whether you're a business builder and you're all in and you're ready to grow a team and go all in. I think I've been through every realm. I've been a discount coach, a hobby coach, and right now a business builder. So it can be done. So basically tonight I wanted to talk about mindset and how our beliefs are so powerful and how our belief in ourselves can either really damage us or push us to the next level. We have the ability to change our mindset, whether it may seem hard when we're going through certain troubles or turmoils in our life. We do have the ability to change our mindset. And basically a little question that I wanted to say was like, how do you view what you do and your worth? So sometimes when things are going not so great in your life, you may have doubts about your worth and whether or not you can achieve something. So how you view yourself is really important to your ability to succeed. So I wanted to talk about our thoughts and how persistent negative thoughts, if you persistently give out negative, you're going to be attracted to getting in negative. So just being mindful and aware of your self-defeating thoughts, whether it be about a relationship, whether it be about something that you have been trying to do and you just don't seem to be getting anywhere. So just being aware of how those thoughts can really affect you in your ability to proceed. So yeah, talking about persistent. So these thoughts can be persistent and they can lead into actions being negative and just an overall negative perception on life. It's easy to go down this road, especially just being a human and in society. There's so many negative things and with media, the news in our lives. It's so easy to get wrapped up in just a thought and have it carry through all the way to our actions, our whole outlook on the day or on life in general. So basically, you want to decide that you're going to think about good thoughts. I mean, obviously that's easier said than done. I'm not a super happy-go-lucky person, but I've definitely, since becoming a coach, I've become a lot more aware of myself and the energies that I give off to people and how I want people to perceive me. So just really being mindful of that and just the volumes that you're giving off to others, because we are a people business. This isn't about, giving people your link and stuff. It's all about our relationships. And if we're feeding off this negative vibe to people, we're not going to attract anyone to us. So just proclaiming that good thoughts are powerful and that negative thoughts are weak. So just, crushing them where they are. And also about how these thoughts can really affect our psychological mindset. And I just want everyone to realize that you don't need to set these limits for yourself. We can go as far as we dream we can. So don't set any limits for yourself. Then I wanted to talk about, easier said than done, replacing or thinking positive thoughts, but going into replacing those negative thoughts with positive ones. So an example I was coming up with was, I'm not strong enough. Just an example, say you're doing a workout and you're like, oh, I can't do that. just saying like, I am right where I am and I can build strength. So not limiting yourself again with your belief. I kind of have like a smaller upper body, and I always like think that I can't do push-ups or I can't do this or that, but just saying like, I'm going to do it. And all the personal trainers in these videos like totally pump me up because they always say, just like, keep going, just one more. And it really is like in that moment when you're about to give up and you're so fatigued, it's that mindset that keeps you going. Because if nobody's watching you or if nobody's around, sometimes I'm like, nah, I'll just give up. But they just keep saying, like, just keep going. And it's just like your mind is so powerful that you can keep going. Saying that you have way too much going on. We all have crazy lives. Some of you have kids, some of you, have school. But we have the ability to manage our time and get what we want done. You can do it. Trust me, you can. There is a way and there is a how, because trust me, I've had a crazy year myself. I've been in grad school for the past couple of years, and I have continually worked on myself as a person, and not until I really divulged into working on myself did I really see how that affected every element of my life. My relationship is better with my family, my boyfriend, my schoolwork was better, my attitude towards life, towards work, everything was better when I started working on myself and being willing to personally develop and read those books, listen to audio things. I needed more than others because I was just drained. I needed a lot more than 10 minutes to fill me back up because I was just giving in all these aspects of my life. And I needed a lot more to fill me back up, or else I was going to burn out. And until I was willing to admit that and willing to devote the time, did I truly understand like what made me hop over that hurdle to getting to diamond. So you have the ability to sculpt your life. I just want to talk about one technique that some people utilize, and it's called meditation. I don't know a whole lot about it, but these are just some things that I've learned along the way from other people. I've done this myself. You can YouTube different meditation things. You can either do guided meditations or just the music. I found a thing on YouTube. It was like an hour long, and it was just, I listened to it like all day, one day at work, and it was just like this calming sounds and music. And it just like puts a different aura into me and filled me back up, to drowning out all the negativity around me about this and that. Work can be such a negative atmosphere, and people don't even know I'm there anymore because I constantly have my headphones in. I'm constantly plugging into working on myself and just listening to things that fill me back up. Because if I didn't have those headphones on, I would just be right where those people are and just, bashing people, just all this negative stuff. It's not worth my time. What I need is to work on myself. So other things about meditation, deep breathing, sometimes I take longer walks when I go to the bathroom or when I'm on break at work. And I just really focus on breathing from my abdomen and filling it up and blowing it out, even when I'm driving too sometimes. Just using your time wisely. I do, wall sits in the bathroom sometimes when I'm going to the bathroom on work breaks. Like, whatever you can do, fill up your time. I'm always, multitasking, whatever I'm doing. If I'm getting ready, I'm listening to something. If I'm in the shower, I'm listening to something, just constantly diving in so that I can fill myself up, because I know that that's my weak point. I have negative thoughts. So also using positive affirmations, looking at yourself in the mirror, even though that may seem completely ridiculous or silly, just saying positive things that lift you back up, speaking to the future, or speaking into the now. I went for a job interview, so just like thinking about how I'm going to decorate my office, just like creating these visions and, these things that put things into the here and now, completely changing your perspective. So basically what you focus on becomes your reality. A lot of what I've been learning on in some of the diamond groups that I'm now digging into is creating that vision. And sometimes that vision, I know for me, has just been like, one day I'll be making this amount of money and life will just be great. But like, what does that look like for me? What do I want to achieve? what types of things do I need to do now in order to create that? So, using reverse goal, whatever it's called, reverse engineering your goals. So really working on the steps in order to lead up to that. So creating a detailed vision in your focus for a life. One of the examples was, one of the guys' visions was building a house. So he literally had the blueprint. He knew where the doors were to go. He knew where the windows were, the outlets, just like how the electrician was going to, formulate everything and how the plumbing was going to work. So completely detailing your life so that you can focus on that when things get tough, because they're going to get tough. And another element I wanted to talk about was that I've kind of already touched on was the laws of attraction and the frequencies of our thoughts and how we can really bring in positive things into our life if our frequencies of our thoughts are in the positive realm. Sometimes people can have persistent thoughts of powerlessness, and it can be debilitating, and it can definitely I can definitely resonate with that, because I have had bouts of depression where I just feel so lonely and so powerless to everything around me. Like I have no control. But just changing my thoughts and knowing that I do have control over a lot in my life, and I'm very blessed in that realm, but taking that to another level and generating how I can take more control over things and letting go what I don't have control over, because there are a lot of things I don't have control over, but just letting that subdue and not worrying about it.
Hey, Theresa.
Yeah, what's up?
I'd love to chime in and tell a story that something really cool that just happened to me this week that has to do with the law of attraction.
Sure, go.
So, we were talking a couple of weeks ago about watching The Secret.
Yeah.
And so I got Jai to watch it with me. And the night that we watched it, I grabbed my notebook and I wrote down my bank account number. And I wrote down June 2015, and I wrote down $5,000. And I'm not kidding you, I get a letter this week that says our taxes for 2014 were overpaid by $4,500, and we were getting a check.
Wow.
Yeah, freaking mind-blowing, right?
That is amazing.
Mind-blowing.
It's so real.
It's so real.
Wherever
so, yeah, I wanted to chime in and share that.
No, thank you. That's such a great example of literally how this works and how it can be put into action. I mean, everybody has their own thoughts and beliefs, and I'm not trying to instill any values onto anybody, but just to show you something that maybe you've never heard of, or just a good refresher, because I know that this information isn't really new to me, but it's always good to have, maybe a different perspective or something to kind of, get it back out there. So thoughts are the primary cause of our emotions. So, we'll just take fitness for an example. Say you're just like, I really don't feel like working out today. And you're like, I'm not going to do it. So you're at work and you're like, when I get home, I'm not working out. So then your emotions are, you might be lax. You might just be like, fuck it, or I messed up. Just, you might have negative thoughts connected, and negative emotions connected with those thoughts, and then it can really influence your actions, because then maybe you don't end up working out, and it's just like you just feel like crap because you didn't, and it's just like everything can just spiral into a great big mess if you don't really, you're not aware of your thoughts and how they really truly affect you. Even though our emotions can be all over the board, for sure, they're definitely a gift. Whether or not we're able to always manage them, they're definitely a gift, I believe. Talking about the difference, so don't compare yourself to others. I know a lot of times, especially in this business, you see people that are progressing at maybe a faster rate than you, or they signed you signed way before them, and they're like blowing out of the water. But just try not to compare yourself to others. We all have our own specific things that we're going through, and just believe that where you are right now is where you're meant to be, and move on from there. stop dwelling on the past. Don't compare yourself to others. Just move forward. Implement what you've learned. Plug into everything, but don't always just plug in. Implement it. Do it. Go out there and blow everything out of the water if that's what you want to do. So don't think that your circumstances determine your success, because they don't. Plenty of people have gone through many of things that are the most successful coaches in this business. They've been through hell and back, and they are successful not because of that, but because they just progressed and they didn't give up. So your success is determined on your ability to influence others. The more people that you're able to influence in this business, the more successful you're going to be. And the way to influence those people is by working on your journey. And everyone's is personal. So a huge thing for me was getting out of my comfort zone, because I was stuck in it for a long time. And I just threw this PowerPoint together, whatever, just do it. I hate public speaking, absolutely hate it. I'm an introvert by nature, but it's just being willing to change and being willing to get out of my comfort zone. I've seen the true power of that and what it's meant to me. It has been just so valuable to me, because I never thought that I'd be doing something like this. But I feel so much more confident in myself in every element of my life, because I did get out of my comfort zone. So if you're like me and you hate public speaking, whatever, just crush it. Just do it. Just get out of your own way, because you're holding yourself back. You have the power to change your own destiny. So this was actually an example from a dialing call earlier that I was on the East Coast, and we were talking about control. And she said, I'm such a planner, and I usually have control over most things with family and friends. Since I have had my son 20 months ago, I became a much more positive person. Since starting coaching in January, I've become even more positive. I just believe things will happen how they should now, instead of worrying. I think that's a great example of faith and just how much coaching can really impact a person's life, because I never really understood what it meant to believe in something. I just always thought that, we are just like these cookie cutter people, and we are meant to do this and we're meant to do that. And it's not really about fulfilling someone else's prophecy for yourself. It's about fulfilling yourself, because the only way you're going to be happy is by doing something that you want to do. And people are definitely there's going to be plenty of naysayers for sure. People are going to, diss what we do, but that shouldn't hold you back, because what fills you up is not going to fill somebody else up. So just keep going. So a little call to action was to think of 5 things that you have control over that will help move yourself forward. So 5 things that you have control over in your life, and to post what positive affirmations you will be using daily in our team page. Or maybe you already do them, but maybe you're going to change them up or do them more frequently, or what have you. And then also to read or listen to at least 10 minutes of personal development a day. I know I've probably listened to like 3 hours of personal development a day in all different realms. Team calls, on here, YouTube, anything. I'm constantly plugging in, because I know that's what I need. And I know that's what's going to grow me, which is going to grow my business, which is going to grow my relationships and my ability to affect others and create change. So I'm going to